I'm Erin Arnold with the Communications and Engagement team at Autodesk Research. We're kicking off our new 3x3 series where I ask 3 questions to 3 members of the research organization. In honor of International Women in Engineering Day, today I'm joined by 3 amazing women on our research team. I'll let them each introduce themselves and talk a little bit about their role at Autodesk before we dive into the questions. Kendra, why don't you start?
Sure. Hello, I'm Kendra Wanamaker. I'm a senior research engineer on the Human Computer Interaction and Visualization team. And I've been at Autodesk in the Toronto area for about 2 years now.
Awesome, thanks. Daniela, you want to share a little bit about yourself?
Daniela, I work in Birmingham, UK. I'm a principal research engineer on the Industry Futures team with focus on digital twins. I am with Autodesk for 10 years and I enjoy to deliver impactful research for the company.
Great, thank you. And Haley, why don't you share a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Haley. I've been with Autodesk since 2020. I joined after I was an intern in 2019, joined the Novi team, and then moved to Boston and joined the research team after consulting. And now I'm a strategic manager in one of the research departments.
Awesome. I love how each of you has different experience, different roles, and different things to share about what you do. Question number 1. What inspired you to pursue a career in engineering? Let's start with you, Haley, this time.
Sure. So for me, it was really my dad was very into engineering. He was one of the folks that could take a car apart and put it back together. We were always working on our something in our barn. And so that kind of the little projects that we did in our backyard, like building little like boats made out of wood, always had my mind thinking. And then got to high school and my school just started a first robotics team. So I jumped right on that and did that all the way through high school. And I did a little bit of everything, which led me to my mechanical engineering degree and then led me now to Autodesk. And I kind of do a little bit of everything, which I love.
That's awesome. Kendra, what about you?
Yeah, I guess when I was in high school, I went to kind of a university event for women to kind of encourage us to go into engineering. And I kind of fell in love with all of the cool projects that they were doing. And then once I started university, I took a coding class and I absolutely loved kind of being able to create something digital and kind of the problem solving process. So, yeah.
That's great. And Daniela, what led you to pursue engineering?
Um, One of the reasons was the vast range of job opportunities. I chose to take electrical and computer engineering, which was heavily focused on math, fundamentals on electric and computing systems, software programming. And what made me choose this degree was that I was very intrigued by how electric systems work. And yeah, I did not understand and I wanted to know more.
That's awesome. It seems like you all had different reasons for moving into engineering, a lot of it inspired by, things you did as children, things you did in school. What advice or recommendations would you give to young women or other students considering a career in engineering? Daniela, why don't you start us off?
So I think you first have to be enthusiastic about solving problems that are real and complex. Secondly, I think you should take an education, an engineering education that is broad, because that will allow you to then adjust to the areas that you enjoy most. And maybe additionally, I think you should answer at the pretty early stage the questions that how much do you want to earn, what that means in terms of working hours, and where do you want to live. And yeah.
Great. And Haley, what about you?
I would say to ensure that it's really what you want to do. I know a lot of people get pushed into engineering because it's one of the big topics. So just ensure that it's something that you're interested in. Um, and also to not limit yourself to the first one that you come across. A lot of people, I feel like they just jump on the first one that they are interested in. I personally jumped on mechanical engineering. I'm not sad about that choice, but I do wish that I had expanded my horizons a little bit. Try some CS, try some software, try some civil. You never know what might interest you. So broaden your horizons, check out some different elective classes, maybe, and then maybe you'll find a new hobby.
That's awesome. And Kendra, any thoughts that you have for folks looking to consider a role in engineering?
Yeah, I think when I was kind of starting out, and even though I kind of tried coding and really loved it. I had this really strong sense of what an engineer looked like, and it didn't look like me. And I think kind of as I progressed, I realized like, oh, the ways that I am different are really powerful and can really make an impact. And so just kind of, understanding that maybe you've internalized some bias throughout your life and kind of challenging that and just embracing who you are and knowing that that's powerful in solving problems.
Kendra, that sets us up really nicely for our third question, which is that the engineering field, as you all know, is dominated by men across all occupations. How do you think we as women in technology and we as Autodesk can help overcome that gap? Kendra, you want to go first?
Sure. I think a lot of the discussions kind of focus on outreach programs and mentoring, but I also feel like sometimes that's focusing on pouring more water into a leaky bucket. I think that when people's lives are over constrained, we see kind of women dropping out of the workforce, and we saw that a lot during COVID-19. And so I think policies that allow people to exist as human beings outside of work are really powerful. So something like Autodesk Flex Forward, I think, is really impressive and goes a long way. And if we're thinking about maybe future policies that we could advocate for, or Autodesk could maybe consider, is paid parental leave. I think that tackles the challenge in two ways. I think first, it makes it financially feasible for fathers to take some time off around the birth of their children and build that foundation. But two, I think it kind of levels the playing field. I think in Canada, our government put out a report in 2019 still saying that like after one child, women make 85 cents on the dollar after one child compared to men. So it's still an issue, but if we kind of normalize it and, all genders taking time off after children are born, I think that can go a long way. But I did those outreach programs. I fell in love with engineering. I'm in the bucket. And so I think it'd be really sad to have to abandon my career for some reason. And I think it would be heartbreaking not to try and address some of these fundamental issues as we entice more women into the field.
Yeah, fantastic. Totally agree. I think all of us agree that those are key issues for, everyone. Daniela, what thoughts do you have?
I think that we women in engineering could try to ease the restrictions that either happen formal or informal that companies still have regarding expressing emotions is not well seen. Working environments with high levels of nurturing and caring, maybe that is also not well perceived or felt as not needed, and being more accepting regarding wearing high heels, wearing makeup and dressing up, and not having to disguise that if we don't want, right? Be ourselves. Yes.
I love that too. It's so important to bring your full self to work and be who you are, whether you're in an office or at home. And Haley, any final thoughts from you on this subject?
Yeah, I would just, what Kendra and Danielle both said, that's 100% so true. We have hormonal up and downs, we have emotions, but just in my own thoughts, I'd also like the outreach part of me, I do agree, Kendra, on your statements, but just to touch on that, like the different things that Autodesk does provide. So we have the Dreamwakers program. I've found that really, really rewarding, and it's really great because there's so many schools that just don't know what engineering is, and it's really, you need to be a positive influence and like just give them the knowledge that engineering is an option or what it is and stuff like that. And then also the FIRST Robotics, I still mentor, and it's a great way to show both genders, all genders, that it's an option and there's different ways you can go about it. So those are the different ways that I think it's good to influence.
This has been such a wonderful conversation. I appreciate, your honesty. I appreciate your openness. And Kendra, I appreciate your cat behind you. Hello. Thank you again so much. I think that we had some really great points about authenticity, about being yourself, about how to mentor, but understanding that mentoring isn't the only solution. And I appreciate you guys all participating in this. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and insights, and happy International Women in Engineering Day to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.